I'm going to share my own personal experience as a young girl of color growing up. It's difficult. It's very difficult. I was a very smart girl. I loved school. I was the girl that in kindergarten would, found a backpack and I just stuffed it full of random things because I saw my sisters with backpacks and I wanted a backpack and I wanted it to be full. And I was very excited. I loved school. I cried, on the last day of school because I loved it that much. I hated summer. It's nothing to do. I was good in all subjects, English, math, you name it. I formulated the fact that, a lot of my friends would come to me for advice. And they say, you're very friendly and this is at a very young age, maybe third grade. They would tell me, you'd be a good counselor. You'd be a good, therapist or something. They didn't know the names of the actual careers. So I started asking. I asked my mom and I said, Mom, what should I do as a career? Because people keep telling me I'm good at, talking to people. And my mom said, well, whatever you do, you want to go for the top. I want you to go for the best, the highest career in that area possible. And I said to her, what is that? And she said, a psychiatrist. I said, oh, okay, that sounds really cool. And so that was when people asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up? That's what I said. I want to be a psychiatrist. And I had that. I did well in school, got to middle school, and I just assumed I'm going to do the same thing I did in elementary school. I began, they started asking those questions. The teachers would say, what do you want to be when you grow up? I confidently raised my hand as a young girl of color and said, I want to be a psychiatrist. It was the first time ever I got laughed at. I just got teased for it by my classmates. The teacher was like, oh, whatever. And it wasn't just one teacher. It was multiple teachers. And finally, a teacher said to me point blank, and I don't recall exactly what grade, but it was definitely during middle school, that I would never become a psychiatrist because I could never get through the math. And I said, well, what do you mean? Up to this point, I've been pretty good at math. And he said to me, it was a man, I do recall it was a man, said to me, well, you have to go to med school. I said, okay, and why exactly can't I go to med school? He said, you won't make it. They don't have people in there that look like you. There's, and I didn't quite understand what he meant, but as I got older, I came to understand that, okay, women, first of all, strike. Women of color, double strike. Math, triple strike, you're out. So at that point, I felt silly. I felt, to even vocalize anymore that I wanted to become a psychiatrist. It's something that I still had in the back of my head, but I kind of gave up. I kind of gave up that dream and tried to figure out, well, what could I do? What could I study that's still along those lines that doesn't involve me going to med school? And came to find out, psychology. So that's actually what my degree is in. I have a bachelor's in psychology and a master's in counseling, which I love and I'm happy. But just reflecting back, the fact that, I was on that path to go to med school, and who knows what I would have ended up doing, could have ended up changing and, becoming a medical doctor, whatever. I was fortunate enough to have parents that encouraged me, they pushed me to the highest level. And then to have all of that be taken away just because of, comments that were said to me, was very, discouraging. So what I want to say to a young girl is you have to get rid of the noise. You have to follow your inner voice, your passion of what you want to do. And don't let anybody, whether it be a parent, a teacher, anybody, tell you that you can't. because you can and you will. And that I wish someone, my problem was that I didn't share that was happening to me with my mom. And now looking back, that was my fault. That if I had shared that with her, I know she would have fortified me and, to trailblaze. So that's my what I want to say to every young girl is that I understand. I've been there, done that, and you can do it. You can do whatever you want to do, and don't let anybody tell you you can't. Just go for it.